Hello, and well, welcome to this a live stream of the news. So let's dive in and let's talk about the news. So the news lately has had a couple of stories in there. Story number one we're going to look at is the closing of the Tavistock um, gender clinic in England. Now, this is a problem for Irish people who ordinarily, unfortunately, do not have one in Ireland for some reason. I don't know what it's about. It's very similar to, abortion clinics in Northern Ireland. They're allowed, and people want them. They're just not there for some reason. It's kind of like a soft ban, I guess, and that's the kind of thing you have here. So basically, currently Irish children have to go to London to get the healthcare they need. So yeah, unfortunately, that means that yeah, currently there is a problem when it comes to those Irish children because they're closing that for that London area. So because it's moving to regional care, yeah, it's not looking too good, to be honest. Seeing that, uh, if I was covered, I'd be going, yeah, that's best. That best build these things, quickly, or at least convert, current thing, because you do need this kind of healthcare to be sort of important. It's kind of important to have it there. To keep it there. Yeah. In other news, when you have the Ryanair flights that are around €10, they're due to stop, due to rising fuel prices. So yeah, not looking too good there. Prices rising for that. Probably cause problems. And as discussed before, the U.S. charges against an Iranian man who is alleged to have had a plot to kill the ex-Trump aide John Bolton, who actually did on live television to planning coups. So yeah. I mean, God, at that point, like what? Now, if he's guilty or not, who knows? Americans don't exactly have the best history in arresting guilty people. Brazilian police have also discovered a stolen painting worth almost 50 million under a bed. So yeah, it's I guess these things they're hidden in places that you wouldn't always expect, or whether you would expect, just you wouldn't expect them. If you know what I mean. You wouldn't really expect the 50 million putting to be under a bed, but if you steal something, where you're going to put it? Yeah. So also, Domino's has actually retreated from Italy after failing to conquer the market there. So yeah, I think this is the thing with a lot of companies. Ultimately, their lust for expansion is somewhat damaged by local industry, but oftentimes they try and crush local industry. The only issue is that Domino's Pizza is not that great, to be honest. So if you're going to be in the home of pizza, something else to call it, it's probably best if you make good pizza. It can't just be passable. It can't just be, oh, it's nice pizza. It has to be pretty good. Otherwise, you're going to start, problems. You also want to make sure your prices are low enough that you can compete with people. And if you try and make massive profits, yeah, that's going to be a problem. I also believe Domino's charges hundreds of thousands to set up a Domino's location. So, you know, it's not exactly like you don't have massive competition from other pizza places in Italy. If I was to set up a pizza place in my area, yeah, I mean it might not be successful, but there's not that much competition. There's only like two or three places that will be competition. But yeah, but in Italy, well, you're looking at practically every single restaurant, so yeah, it's a problem for you there. So yeah, there's also been pressure for the EU to ban Russian tourists from Europe. Uh, I don't see how that would be a especially wise thing to do, like for everyone, because there are some people who want to leave Russia, but not technically officially forever. They want to leave on a holiday tourist kind of thing, and then they want to leave permanently, that kind of thing, to escape Russia's tactic of brutal stuff there. And the former president of the United States and Republican leader Donald Trump has declined to answer questions about his New York business, which is mainly investigated for tax fraud. Yeah, I think when you're, he doesn't have the best history when it comes to things. I think that's the issue of being a rich person, is ultimately your accountant will be like, well, you can do this and you can do that and you can do that and you can do that. And it's like, that'll make you a lot of money because you're a rich and famous person. The only problem is sometimes you do things which are actually against the law. And it appears Trump may have done this, or at least his business did anyway. So yeah, I declined to answer questions. Yeah, it doesn't look too good. Doesn't look too good at all. We also pleaded the fifth for the 26th thing, so yeah, it's not looking too good there. Anyway, so in other news, when it comes to a London medical school that apparently benefit from colonial exploitation. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of to be expected. The majority of institutions have benefited from colonialization because, well, just that's sort of the way it works, really. In those kind of industries, you oftentimes have that issue of how do you separate that, because if you're in power for that long time, like, you can even argue technically right now, all government and institutions benefit from colonial exploitation because, like, even actively, because they still have colonies, England. So until they cast everyone off, or that everyone else casts them off, they continue to benefit from them directly. So yeah. But yeah, it's doesn't look too good for them. But yeah, I mean, that is, I guess, the way of the things. In other news, the Chinese President Xi Jinping is expected to arrive in Saudi Arabia next week. It's interesting, to say the least. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's the thing. There is there. Lots of different things going on there. So you'd be a bit concerned over that, because it doesn't look too good that there are world leaders meeting that are, not always known for being the best when it comes to human rights. So, and yeah, when it comes to a lot of things going on when it comes to the sort of situation where the opposition party in India has said that Indians are forced to buy national flags in return for food rations, which seems like the kind of pointlessness that, like, a lot of dictatorships and empires do, which is like, oh, you have to do this, you have to express this in order to get food, which is, yeah, that's highly concerning, you know. Also, forcing people to buy things in order to get food rations is just a bit, it's not necessary. It really, really isn't necessary. Just really isn't necessary. And in other news, the citizens of Brazil declares Brazilian democracy facing an immense danger. This after Bolsonaro, not nice. Had some little successes there. Yeah, so it's just a lot of the time you have to think. It's one of those things where, yeah, the world is it's not a very democratic place. But neither it appears is America, or at least that's the way some people wanted to go anyway. as the FBI recently had to raid Trump's house in Florida, specifically the Florida one. So yeah, they had to raid it because he was holding documents he'd taken from the presidency, which is just a funny thing to see. You see the likes of them talking about Hillary Clinton, and they're a different story there. But yeah. Anyway, so the FBI have actually handed subpoenas to the Republican Pennsylvanians. So this is while Trump has not only kept silent on his New York business, but also while he's kept silent on this too. Now, it isn't just, of course, Trump that is people who've been investigated. They've also investigated Jeffrey Clark and all the other people who will have also been connected to certain claims. The claims that elections were rigged, which is funny because they've been claiming that for a while now. They claimed that in 2016 as well. So, what can you say there? So yeah. Now, the thing is that will this actually stop anything? Will this actually do anything? I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say so. It's I mean, yeah, it's really not that great, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's it. You have this issue of in the US that if they were to arrest him, it's unlikely that the US would really certainly the US would really react well. It doesn't really look like they would, to be honest. So yeah, that's the US and that's the news. So thank you for listening and thank you for watching. Please do come back tomorrow and I'll be looking at even more news. So see you then, hopefully.